Yes, y'all. You know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925s, but we are still married to the games. Episode 363. All up in your head. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games. Thank you guys so much for being here, man.
Yeah, man.
We appreciate you. You are appreciated.
Don't you know
No.
Y'all, come on, man. Let's do this.
No.
All night. It's a night show. We got this all night.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It is. We da.
Ed said, in that case, let me dust off my falsetto.
There you go.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, that's good.
Speaking of Edward,
Yes.
what's going down, brethren?
Oh, it's kind of a man. We had a long weekend. We had a wedding this weekend.
Hey.
That'll make it long.
So the oldest Tatman child, Dylan, got married this weekend.
They got that older kids?
They got that old of kids. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, they have 3 out of high school now. So
Wow. There you go.
they,
I don't know why I just pictured them as younger.
they are
me
younger.
too, actually.
I mean, they're young at
You can't be
heart.
that young. Oh, okay. Yeah.
They're not as old as me and Router, but they're
Yeah.
right behind us.
Yeah, they're getting there.
In between me and Chris and you and Tim.
There you go.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That makes sense.
Yes, but it was nice. Nathan Tatman, because he's a pastor, he officiated the ceremony, so it was really nice to see. We had family in town. Sarah's brother, JJ, stayed with us, and Pi Rowan also was in town, which explains why I was on Apex Legends.
That was throwing your boy for a loop.
It was funny how many people were messaging each other saying, Ed's on Apex.
Something's wrong.
And I've mentioned in the past that Pi Rowan is kind of a savant when it comes to games.
Yes.
This guy said, "Oh, you have Apex Legends." I said, "Yeah, but I haven't played since it first came out. Didn't really click with me." He fired it up. He's like, "What do the buttons do?" I have no idea.
No
I don't
way.
remember what they do. What they do. First game, he led the team to a win.
Oh, jeez.
That is crazy.
He
What
played
the
you,
world
man.
is
He's
that
like
about?
a card shark or like a.
And he just said, "So
Yeah.
what else do you have? This is boring now."
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I hate you so much.
Seriously.
What the heck?
Yeah.
What is that about? Because he's really good at Overwatch. Was that the game that he was really good at?
Yes. Yeah.
Or is he like just really good at all of them and doesn't even just pick one?
He's really good at all of them. Sarah remembers him in diapers beating Duke Nukem as he as a child. So,
Wow.
In diapers? Did he stay in diapers till he was 13?
I know, that's what I said.
Oh my
He's
god.
not old enough to be playing Duke Nukem.
I know, exactly.
Come on now.
Pampers.
Yes. So, yeah, he's just a natural when it comes to video games. And so, yeah, it was impressive to watch and infuriating.
I bet, man. I bet.
Of course.
So I got a trophy in Apex that I never would have seen otherwise. So thanks for that, Rowan.
That's great.
That's amazing.
But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's just because there was so much going on. It seems like it's been 4 weeks since I've talked to you guys.
I know, right?
Oh wow.
But other than that, it's pretty much been the usual. Sarah and I playing Borderlands at night. Still loving that Overwatch 222.
Oh good.
Is it still only in competitive?
Until September 1st is when it switches over. So yes. So the season...
So wait, it'll switch back to what it was?
No, it'll switch so quick play is not there. Quick play is moving to the arcade, and the main, if you just hop in and play a game, it'll be 222. So right now
cool.
it's only competitive that you can do that in.
Here's the question I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
So with quick play, you know, you press the button, it gets you into a game, and when that game's over, it automatically throws you into another game. Competitive, you have to go back through the menu and click on competitive and start up again. Do you think the main game will roll over like quick play does now, even though quick play is moving to the arcade? Because I hate having to choose the game mode again.
I don't know that we'll have to choose the game mode again. It'll probably just re-put you back into the choose which category of hero you want to play again.
Yeah, that it'll definitely do, I'm sure.
So So hopefully it'll just put you back to that screen rather than, like you say, going back to the main menu, starting all over again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited to, there have been a lot of rumors around Overwatch this past week, and I couldn't help but notice that Overwatch, the official Twitter account, hasn't tweeted anything since like August 1st. So all month they've been super quiet. And in my head, I'm like, is that confirmation of the rumors? Is it just wait and see? So I expect within a week or so here, we'll hear something from them.
What are the rumors?
One of the rumors
I don't
is
have
that
it as a news story, so might as well touch on it.
It's coming to the Switch.
That's what I heard. What I heard.
Wow.
One of the rumors is that Tracer is the next person added to what's the fighting game everybody loves on the Switch?
Oh,
Smash
Brothers.
Smash Brothers, yes.
Holy crap, that would be banging.
And, Jeff Kaplan, who's in charge over there at Overwatch, promised us that September is going to be chock full of announcements and not just at BlizzCon. So everyone's like...
Is BlizzCon in September?
I don't know.
For some reason, I always thought that was a summer thing.
Yeah, it has.
I don't remember it just going by.
Year.
Yeah, it hasn't gone by yet. Yeah.
Interesting.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
So it's November 1st, by the way. November 1st through November 3rd, BlizzCon. So me and Chris kind of went through this last month or this month, I can't remember, when they were like, big announcements for Apex coming.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, oh, snap. And they're like, we've been listening to the community and we're going to give you what you want. And then obviously last week we talked about how half of that fell flat on its face.
Yeah.
And people were calling each other names. But one of the things me and Chris talked about off the podcast was, man, wouldn't we love it if it was crossplay?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, Call of Duty is about to launch with crossplay. We have other game. We have Fortnite that has crossplay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm hoping that they do an Overwatch on Switch and crossplay happen, which would be amazing.
And one of the reasons people think that is because on Amazon for half a second, a Switch carrying case with an Overwatch logo popped on and then popped off again.
And it looked very official.
It did, yes. And the fact that they took it off, that's suspicious in itself. Just because they felt they had to hide it. But at the same time, we remember Jeff Kaplan saying, we're not going to the Switch. That's not something that we're working on. So it just seems weird that he would because that's not something they can do in a week. They have to be working on that for a while.
Yeah, but wasn't that a long time ago he said that?
I
wonder if that could have been true at the time.
I feel like it was last year.
Yeah, I was going to say a year maybe, but I don't know. I just hate to think that Jeff Kaplan straight up lied to us if they were working on it.
Right.
Well, I'm just wondering if they weren't yet.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like and again, I have no idea. None of us are game devs. I don't know how long it takes to get something that's built in, whatever it's built in. Maybe it's Unreal. I have no idea what it's built in.
Mm-hmm.
And then, everything runs Unreal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I have no idea what it's built in again, but maybe it's not as hard as we think. It just takes a lot of bug fixing.
Right.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if most of it's on server issues.
Why?
If you think about it, just because of bandwidth, making sure that the servers are compatible with Switch consoles.
Whatever they're doing.
Yeah. So, I would think that's probably the majority of it, because any multiplayer is going to have all kinds of issues there with connectivity.
But I don't
know.
Overwatch is an online-only game, so you'd think that they'd have that pretty well squared away.
Well, yeah, for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation.
Yeah, I don't know how the Nintendo's
I guess if it's using Nintendo's online service as its backbone, then maybe. But I don't know. I guess I just assumed that if it came to Switch, they'd be doing something on Blizzard servers. Or, I know it's going to be ultimately Blizzard servers anyways, but I guess the pipeline, I just assumed they would bypass any Nintendo official online thing. And I don't know why I ever thought that. That's just where my head went.
It's valid.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
And Ed,
yes.
Also, you were blowing my mind this week saying that you loved Sigma.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
You said you were loving Sigma, and after kind of the last couple of weeks, we're like, I don't know about this guy, or he looks a little tough, or once people get him, he might be a beast. Tell me about your new love for Sigma.
I intentionally avoided him just because there is so much to him. It seems every button does a different power, and I intentionally avoided playing him because I thought, you know what, I'm not ready to tackle that beast right now. And he came up in Mystery Heroes, and doggone if that didn't feel natural.
Really?
I just kind of slipped right in there, and I'm not saying I'm good. I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but it sure felt more natural than a lot of the more recent heroes have.
Wow.
So yeah,
I went through this with Bastille, or whatever his name is, Baptiste. When he came in, I kind of like tried him out because he was the new guy, and I was like,
love him now.
My fingers are actually doing this right, automatically.
Right? I love when that happens.
Isn't that great?
It was so nice, and not only that, between Sigma and I've also this past week I've been a bit of a Lucio main of all people.
That's when we played, you were playing a lot of Lucio.
Yeah, so it's
let's get it.
Something's clicking this past week that it's been really nice, especially, I know how to work Lucio, but I can't work Lucio like people can. And this was the first time it just kind of started to click, and man, that's a good feeling when a character finally starts to click with you.
That's right.
So it was really nice. Played a little bit. I was glad that Gabe and Chris, before we started recording, said, "Hey, we'll be up. We're playing. We're in a game right now. We'll be right up." And I was glad because I was racing. I've been playing Wolfenstein Youngblood all night.
Nice.
That's awesome.
It was about 10 till recording time. I was like, I've got to stop playing.
Wow.
So that was a lot of fun. And then finally for me, yesterday I hopped into the new game Control.
Yes.
I went in totally blind. I saw the first preview back whenever we saw it. I saw that it was by Remedy, and I loved Quantum Break. I've liked their other games, and I knew I wanted to play it, and I just went on media blackout for the game. So someone posted in the Discord the reviews, and I just looked away. I didn't even look to see. I didn't see a number. And I went in totally blind, and yesterday I played for a few hours, and by the end of my gameplay, I had no idea what was going on.
No way.
But I was loving it.
Really?
It is so much fun to play. The controls and the shooting, the interaction, it is so smooth. It feels fantastic.
Wow. But it doesn't make any sense?
Today, I played a few more hours, and it's starting to fall into place. Okay. It's one of those games that, you can collect papers or documents as you go, and
to kind of give some context as to what's going on.
Yes, you do not want to skip reading those. It fills so much in, and it fills in what's happened. It kind of hints at what you might experience in the future. And by the end today, I still have a ton of questions. I'm still not totally sure what's going on, but some of the things that are going on are starting to be explained to me. And it's kind of like Steven Spielberg uses a technique he calls strip teasing, where with Jaws and the original Jurassic Park, you never saw the creature in the previews. You saw maybe an eye. And even in the movies themselves, he doesn't show you the creature from the get. You see a fin, you see an eye,
right.
Yep.
and that kind of builds the tension. That's what these guys are doing with the story. They're just kind of giving you just a little bit here and there, and as things piece together, it's like, okay, that's why in the very beginning I saw that memo that tells you why you can't do this, and as I go on and I get more powers and learn new tricks, man, this game is fun. It's another game I don't want to stop playing. It's been nice.
Really?
What are you playing it on? It's a multi-platform, right?
Yeah, I'm on PS4.
Okay.
And the game looks beautiful. There's so much going on. Today I experienced the first time I saw the PS4 struggle to keep up.
Oh wow.
It looked like it went from HD to 28K bandwidth for about a second and a half.
Wow.
There's just so much going on, but man, is it fun. It's a really good
giving
time.
her all she's got, Captain.
That's right. We ain't got any more.
Yeah.
So
dang it, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm very pleasantly surprised just because I was so in the dark about it. I knew I wanted to play it and was really happy that it's living up to my expectations so far. So if you do play it, it's a game that requires a little bit of patience, but while you're waiting for things to fall into place, it's a lot of fun in the meantime.
Nice.
Jeez Louise. That's a good time.
Yeah, that's
very
great,
good
man.
time.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yes.
Oh, can you talk a little bit about you did an interview also this week?
Yeah, dude.
I did, yeah. I had chatted in the past with an actor by the name of Valerie Rose Lohman. She was the voice of Edith Finch, and she also was the voice of Jess, one of the two sisters in Wolfenstein Youngblood. And
okay.
she wasn't allowed to even say she was the voice until the day the game came out. Which I thought was surprising just because we knew the story, we knew who the characters were, we knew it was two sisters, we knew it was Blazkowicz's daughters. So I just thought it was surprising that they weren't allowed to say that they were playing the characters.
Wow.
So she hopped on for about an hour. We had a little bit of a problem. Her PS4 kept overheating whenever she started up the game. So she just got into the voice chat while I played the game and talked about the process of making the game. They filmed it over in Sweden. And it was a good time. It was a lot of fun.
Was this on stream?
Yeah, I Twitch streamed it, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It was great, man. Good job. You are like the king of interviewing, and
he's so good.
You're so like personable, and you ask.
Thanks, man.
You don't ask just the normal questions. You like. It's just you feed off the person that you're interviewing, and I think people those people probably appreciate that and love that more. So, man, kudos to you. It was great.
Thanks, man.
I listened to some of it today.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was a really good time.
Yeah,
I really
check it
had
out.
fun.
Is it? I'm assuming there's a video on demand version.
Yes, and it'll be up on our YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Placencia.
That's right.
Coming with bringing the pain.
Hey.
Christopher.
Yes.
What is going down with you, brother?
Stacy is back in town. She arrived last Saturday. She's going to be in town for, I think, 2 weeks. I was originally thinking it was only about a week, but it looks like it's actually going to be about 2 weeks before she heads back to Memphis to finish up some things and tie up some loose ends and get that all squared away for that store opening. So it's been great having her back. I really, when it's just me running around and the dog, well, at the moment, dogs, because we're watching Katie and Kale's dog, because they're on a safari in Africa.
What?
That's right. They went to the motherland.
Whoa.
Yeah, they went to the motherland.
That's on my bucket list.
Civilization.
Dang it.
Wow.
That is on my bucket list.
They're out there. I think they come home middle of next week. They're out there for just shy of like 2 weeks or something crazy.
Oh, it's amazing.
So, really?
It's they've been sending pictures at night of all the crazy stuff that they've gotten to see, like on their different little safari tours and everything like that. So it's been awesome. So for the moment, we're watching their dog Rhodey over here. So most of the time, I will say this. So it's been a while since I've been without a job, but good golly, have I not worked more than I feel like I have in a really long time. Just getting things in place and moving things around and all for the whole job hunt stuff. So still just working on all those things, but finally some pieces I feel like some foundational pieces are getting set to where they need to be so that whatever my next steps are going to be, I'm still kind of figuring some of those pieces out and testing the waters, if you will, in some different areas. But sent out a few resumes too. Again, first time I can say I've ever done that. So waiting to see whether or not I get called back for anything, see if those turn out any fruition from those things at all. But we will just have to see. But unfortunately, because I've been doing so much of all that stuff and pretty much that's just been my focus, I really have not played hardly anything. I did play, obviously, Apex a little bit earlier tonight before we got on the recording with Gabe.
Yeah, you did.
But outside of that, I've maybe played a total of 3 hours all week. Like I'll just jump in occasionally. Most nights I end up working into the night on things, and then it'll be like, all right, you know what, I can jump in and play a game or two. And this was back when it was solos. I was like, you know what, I know solos is going to go away soon because it was only part of the Iron Crown event. So I was like, all right, I'll jump in and play a little bit of solos. And solos games also go a lot faster.
Yeah, they do.
It feels like. Yeah. So not just whether you make it all the way in, like, because you can obviously die off really quickly, but they shrink the circle really fast. So I kind of appreciated that. That was one of the things out of the whole aspect of it. I mean, yeah, being by yourself is kind of cool, but I think the thing I enjoyed the most was like, oh, it moves really fast. Because there's sometimes you'll play a squad game and you'll get all the way to the end and you win or become second place or third place, whatever, but you still play for like 25 minutes. And again, it's not like I'm complaining when that happens, but it was nice to jump in and be like, hey, 10, 15 minutes and this game's over. That's nice. And then I can get rolling on the next one.
That's right. I feel like it's good practice too. Playing solo. Yeah. I feel like I drop hot a lot. So dropping hot is when you drop where everybody likes to drop. And I drop hot a lot in solos just because it felt like it helped me with my dexterity of like collecting quick and getting ready to fight. And since you're fighting everybody, there's not like that, oh, that's my teammate, over there or anything like that. I did see that the downside of it though is that when I got back to doing squads of 3, I would get tunnel vision really bad. And so I would be fighting somebody and forget that, oh yeah, they have teammates that are going to come shoot me.
Flank.
Yeah. I can definitely see how that would be the case. I feel like I did that a handful of times too. And who did you play most of the time during the whole solos thing?
I went back and forth between Mirage and Lifeline.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, I never did any.
Nobody felt right to me outside of Mirage. I mean, I did play. I got to second a few times with Bangarang, and she felt okay. But
Bangalore.
I was just like, Mirage just makes the most sense to me. Like I could juke people out so much easier in solos because when you see one person running, you think that's them. And if I caught a glimpse of them, I go around a corner, I throw out the bamboozle, and here they are shooting it, and it's like, yep, my decoy dies, and I'm flanking around, and they don't even know where I'm coming from. It's just
nice.
Right.
It was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed solos way more than I thought I would, and I feel like so many people enjoyed it that I would expect that when season 3 rolls around, it's just going to be a part of the mainstay game, or they're going to incorporate it a lot more. Like maybe it'll still be like, oh, it's overly for a timed bit, but it'll happen a couple of times throughout season 3. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes and when season 3 is going to get started. And they're already kind of getting some leaks of the new character and everything that was kind of teased in the last trailer before season 2 started and yada, yada, yada. So hopefully I'll be getting in there and playing a little bit more in the coming weeks or so. But just hasn't really had much time for the old gaming front this past week for sure.
Yeah, that's good.
It's all good though, man.
Yeah.
There you go. Tim Router.
Yeah, man.
What's been going down with you, doggy?
Man, I am boring this week. It's just been work, taking Piper to school, taking Piper to cheer, having soccer practice, having soccer games.
Work, school,
And
cheer,
work.
soccer practice.
Well done, Riri. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, good job, Chris. That's funny.
Great, Chris. That was perfect. Love it. That was really good. But yeah, not a whole lot, nothing crazy. It is Labor Day coming up this weekend. Piper has off on Monday. I don't really think we're doing much. I would love to just not do anything, which would be great. And so we'll just kind of hang out here. But yeah, it's just been kind of routine, and I like that. I do like a good routine, and now that Piper's back in school, it's nice to get into that. Man, Disney's pretty much just going to take my money. As I'm sure all of us did, we saw the trailer for the Mandalorian series, and that's going to be exclusive on Disney Plus. And I'm like, I'm throwing money at the screen. I'm like, just take this because I am excited for that. I think that's going to be great. And so yeah, I'm definitely gonna look at that, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Question.
Yes.
How do you feel about the normalcy of releasing an episode a week instead of them releasing a whole season?
Yeah.
Because Netflix kind of has the binge thing. So it's like, hey, this show, Stranger Things is out. You can watch the whole season.
Yeah, I do that with some HBO series anyway. Like Ballers just started again, and there was a couple. Even Game of Thrones was like that too. So it's like I can find other things to watch in between that, which is fine. I think it makes it a little bit more. The anticipation gets higher, which I like, but then sometimes you're also let down, i.e. Game of Thrones final season. But that's beside the point. But it's like I'm fine with it. It doesn't really matter to me.
I think it'll work for them because like you're saying, the anticipation, like back when I was watching Lost when it was, live on television, I watched the first 3 seasons on DVD and then caught up to where it was on TV and or even The Walking Dead. I think it'll give you a reason to start up the app. You know what I'm saying? Like Netflix, for me at least. Yeah. If I binge something, then I'm like a little bit done with Netflix for a minute. Yeah. But this will be a nice like have to go back, and you're like, oh shoot, that thing is on. Yep. And the reason I like it is because I really, really love water cooler talk. And I feel like with something like Stranger Things, it was harder to do the water cooler talk because there's so much to intake. Yeah. That like some people are gonna stop at episode 3, where some people are gonna stop at episode 6. But like if you do it weekly, then everybody's on the same page if they're excited about it.
Yeah, that's exactly how Game of Thrones worked, and it worked really well. Exactly. Like everybody, like there wasn't a day goes by that somebody did not talk about the episode that premiered the following week. So yeah, there's a mixture of that. I think for something like this, I'm fine waiting a week. It'll just build that anticipation, especially if there's something that I saw in that episode. I may go and do some research on that and just see it. I'm all in with this. I mean, it's going to be fantastic.
I do think that's going to but it's going to lead to a bunch of, the whole anticipation. Very similar to the way Game of Thrones did things. Oh, yeah. But at the same time, I also don't like it. It just feels backwards to me. It's like I don't want anything that way. Like I would much rather personally be like, oh, I want to drag this out and then just have the choice to do it a week because that's the way I prefer to do it. Or if I want to binge it, I can just binge it. But I understand it in terms of like the chatter online and everybody talking about the same thing at the same time, that makes it much harder when you could just watch everything right away. Right. But yeah, I don't like it. I like the it's like once we got the mode via Netflix to where like the whole season drops right away. To me, everything needs to be that.
Yeah, I think we're spoiled now. I think Netflix has definitely spoiled us with that. But that's the thing. Like it's coming out in November, which is like holiday time, which is always crazy. So I may not be able to see it every episode. So if I can stack them for a little while, that's fine.
Yeah, I get to binge.
That's the beauty of it. Like you have that. And actually, speaking of Stranger Things, I just picked that up and finished the first season and loving that so far. I don't know how I snoozed on that for so long, but man, it really.
Are you talking about the Telltale game? Or what is it?
No, Stranger Things.
Oh, what do you mean picked it up?
Because I haven't watched anything. Everybody said, "Dude, you have to watch Stranger Things." My nieces and nephews are saying, "Uncle Tim, you have to watch Stranger Things."
Wasn't Stranger Things a game? Was it ever a game? Am I?
It was going to be a Telltale game, and it.
Yes, right. It was
a mobile game.
There was another game too.
Yeah, it was like an 8-bit.
There was a mobile game, right?
Yeah, kind of like an 8-bit-ish looking. And I think that was only for season 2. I don't think it was for season 1.
That's right.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that kind of case, that's great for me to be able to binge that because I can go through season 1 and then now I'm going to plow through season 2 and then eventually get to season 3. So yeah, it's just been like when I have a little downtime or like at a lunch, I'll just watch an episode and it's been great. On the gaming front, you remember when I said I fired up Borderlands 2?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just been sitting there. I've been all over Overwatch.
Nice.
I have gone the way of the competitive mode now. Yeah. I did all of my sports tanks. I did all of that stuff, and I was placed pretty well. I thought I was about 2,000 SR, and then I just dropped like a bad habit. Like I lost like 12 games, and it's just like now it's getting to the point where it's frustrating, but I'm continuing because I'm just getting better.
Yep.
And getting better. Right. But I feel like sometimes they mismatch because like there's been some people like most of us are pretty even on my team, and I look over on their team and they've got gold, silver, and like 2 other like really high guys, and they're just plowing through. Like some of these games didn't really last long at all, and that's the frustrating part because like I want to make sure I want to play through correctly and play my character correctly. And I've been trying to do a lot. I've really just it's been supports and tanks mostly because all the damaged ones take longer to get into games. Yep. And so support's been great because I've been Moira most of the time and just, I love her and she's great. But I've also picked up Batiste and I really dig him now too.
Nice.
So
yeah,
he's definitely cool. Feeling really comfortable. And then on the tank side, I started with Hog. And then I went to Orisa for a little bit, and then Ed, like you, man, I picked up Sigma, and I was like, "Hey, I'm not dying very much. Yeah. I'm being supportive. I'm helping the team. Yeah. Like like all the things that I can do is really helpful. So I kind of consider him like a tank support, and I'm really digging him. In the three matches that I played with him, I've done really well. Our team has won, and I'm like, hey, this guy's pretty cool. So it was nice to kind of pick that up, and I went and went online and checked out a few more tips too, as some other things that you can do, and I was like, this is great. But dude, I am hooked on this competitive thing now. I mean, I suck at it, and my SR is terrible, but like I don't care because like I love this 2-2-2. I really do because
you like it too.
I love it because it forces everybody to come together, look at your comps, and then. If somebody wants to play something, that's fine. Like for tanks, I always waited for the other guy to see if his tank, whoever he selected, that might be his stronger person. Because I'm not strong on most tanks. I normally don't play tanks. So like I'll wait for a little bit, and if he doesn't pick Sigma, then I'm on Sigma.
Nice.
But with support, I'm right with Moira because I'm comfortable with her. I've been doing really well with her. And if somebody beats me to it, then I'll switch to Batiste. But I really like this format because it really forces everybody to kind of come together, and I really dig that. So yeah, man, it's crazy. I really should have been playing this when it first came out.
We hate to say we told you so.
Oh, it's my fourth regret in life. Yeah, it's definitely my fourth regret in life is not playing Overwatch when it came out.
Life.
So yeah, it was nuts, man. But,
right behind Spider-Man and Stranger Things.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's pretty much it for me, man. I'm happy as a clay. I'm just playing some Overwatch and Borderlands. I'll probably pick up 3. But right now I'm trying to get into this whole competitive thing, and it's amazing. So
I love that you're loving it.
Curse you, Blizzard. Curse you.
I know, right?
So, Mr. Patillo, what is going on with you, man?
Oh, did some traveling this last weekend. Went to the great state of North Dakota.
Woohoo!
And was there in Fargo. Woo. And it felt very...
Big Apple.
Yeah, it felt very Fargo.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like you just kind of
sitting
in the hotel looking out the window at nothing, and you're like, yep. Fargo.
No.
Yeah. I've never seen the movie, but if there was a lot of flat land and white folks, they got it right. There was and so yeah, the show was fine. It was windy as a beast.
Really?
And so like we actually almost had to cancel the show because the wind gusts were getting up to I think around 25 miles an hour or something like that. And so while we're on stage, we all just felt like Michael Jackson. We're like, oh, if you don't have a baby, yeah, you don't have a baby, yeah. And so all our clothes are just whipping in the wind and everything like that. But it was kind of nice because I didn't start sweating till the end of the show.
Nice.
I was like, I do kind of like this. But the weather was beautiful. The people were so nice. Like everybody, from the people at the concert to the ladies at the hotel that helped us check in, like everybody we ran into, it felt so small town. I know Fargo's not actually a small town, but it felt very small town with how everybody treated you, and everybody was just so sweet.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, that was a good time. To get there, we had to go through Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Nice.
And I talked about this months and months ago, but this last week, I think the last day is today, GameStop as a company had like a con here in Nashville.
Really?
And so they had like a GameStop conference. And the only reason I knew of it is because I was talking to somebody at our GameStop, and he kind of remembered. He was like, hey, you're the one with the podcast, right? And I was like, yeah. And we were talking about blah, 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 blah. He had been to E3. I'd been to E3. We're talking. He's like, yeah, we're looking forward to the GameStop conference coming up in a couple months. And so I like put it down on my calendar. I was like, ooh, I'm going to that crap. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, it's employees only. Oh. And so we go to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and we're flying to Nashville. And I'm sitting in the seat and I see like I went to the back to go to the bathroom because our layover was like 30 minutes. So we had to like run off one plane right onto the other. So I got on the plane, went to the bathroom, and I came out, and this guy had a Call of Duty Modern Warfare shirt on. And I said, hey, that's the new one, right? And he was like, yeah. like real skittish about me. I don't know why, but I was like, I like it. I was like, I like your shirt. And he was like, oh, thanks. And just like sat down. I was like, okay, well, never mind. And then I'm sitting there and there was like Zelda shirt, Halo shirt, Nintendo shirt. I was like, what is going on right now? And so I'm looking around. I was like, why are all these people? And then I hear this guy in front of me. He puts his bag down. It kind of lands with a thud. He's like, oh, there goes my Switch. And I was like, what is going on? And so I like looked back at my buddy. I was like, why are we surrounded by gamers right now? Why are they going to Nashville? And the girl sitting next to him was like, the GameStop conference. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. So I was surrounded by GameStop employees on my flight from Minneapolis to Nashville. And so I wasn't sitting next to one, unfortunately, but I definitely like took my Switch out very proudly. Nice. It was like, if anybody wants to come get this Mario Kart, they can get it. And so that's one of the things that's been really fun. Me and my buddy Brian and Dave, who both I talked into getting Switches over the last year, and Mario Kart, we play each other on planes. And so that's really fun because we can be sitting, rows and rows apart and still be getting it in. So yeah, that's fun. We definitely look like the commercial.
Yeah.
You're like, when would older people be doing something like this? And you're like, oh yeah, on the airplane. And what's funny is there's this girl, the stewardess was coming down the aisle, and she hits the aisle ahead of me, which has 2 GameStop employees in it, and they're both playing their Switches, along with Brian, who's playing his. So the whole row is playing Nintendo Switches, right? And when she gets to my row, she like can't hold it in. And when she sees me with mine, she's like, can I get you something to drink?
Oh, that's funny.
And I was like, doggone it. I was like, it's a cool thing, I promise.
I promise.
Yeah. So anyway, so fun weekend. This week we're headed to New York for a wedding. On Friday. And so we're kind of gearing up for that. And karma or whatever, the earth, whatever you like to call it, knows when you're about to do something. Because me and Jenny were like, all right, we got to do all this laundry. We've been doing the kids' laundry. We got to do our laundry. And then the dryer wants to quit on us. We're like, nah. Like, I'd almost rather the washer quit. But the dryer quit, so we've got clothes hanging up all over the place, and it looks crazy. It looks like a serial killer lives in our house. And but I wish I could view it through the lens of my children, because when Milo went into his room, we have clothes hanging up everywhere. He's like, oh, it's beautiful. We were like, oh, buddy. Awesome. Yeah, it is beautiful. All funny. These things hanging. So yeah, excited to go to New York with just the lady.
Yeah.
And be up there for the weekend. So that's fun. The Open is going on up there, which Open. I'm a big tennis fan. Yeah. And so I wish I could sneak into the Open one night, but it's probably not going to happen. And then game-wise, that old Ajax Legends.
Yeah.
Ajax Legends.
Yeah, on the trip, I played a bunch of Mario Kart. I haven't dove back into Octopath in a minute, but I'm still, I haven't quit.
Okay.
But Ed, what was that game I told you I was gonna play? It's a new one on the Switch. It starts with an A. Astral Chain. Yes. Astral Chain. I don't know how to even say it, but that comes out this weekend, so I'm actually kind of saving my pennies for that one, because I've heard people talk good about it.
So
and and again, kind of like you with Control, I have no idea what it even is or what it's about. But people are giving it 9s out of 10s.
Yeah, and
so might as well try it. It's on the Switch.
Exactly.
Yeah, why not?
If I beat it, then I help out my New Year's resolution that I'm not going to reach.
Oh, you'll get there. I believe in you.
And yeah, thank you. And then Clash Royale.
Yeah,
a lot of Clash Royale. I freaking love that game, man.
Isn't it
it's just
awesome?
Good. Yeah, it is awesome.
Oh,
it's cool, I'm telling you.
I promise.
Yeah, it's cool, I'm telling you. I promise it is.
I promise.
Yeah. The I had one more thing. I just forgot what it was. Anyway. Oh, I finished that audiobook that I was complaining about last week.
Oh, yeah.
Finally got that wrapped up today.
Oof.
Oh, boy.
And so I was very excited about that and mad all at the same time. So.
Mad that you took it, or just mad that it was just it took forever.
Just all of it. Yeah. All the things. I've been complaining to Ed. Yeah. It's like, never again. Never again. So
that's
golly. Yeah. Router.
Yes.
You got it. Oh, and I saw Router this last week.
Yeah, man.
Router was across the street, and I said, ahoy, hoy.
That's right. And I was like, ahoy, hoy to you as well. And also with you, actually.
Yeah.
I saw you walking down the street with your gold record for Eye of the Storm, brother. Congratulations.
Oh,
Gabe. Yeah, that's right.
I was like, dude, that boy is so Franklin right now, walking down with his gold record down the sidewalk. It was amazing. I drove by you. I almost shouted out, but I was like, nah, let him enjoy this for a second.
That's why I had it. That's why I had the gold record part against my body.
Yeah,
so it
exactly.
It didn't look so Nashville.
Congrats, man. That was really, really cool. Well done to
thank you. I appreciate that.
And yes, I have it, by the way.
Well, then let's do it.
All right, we got new releases this week. Arizona Sunshine, The Damned DLC for the PC, VR, and PSVR. The Bard's Tale 4 Director's Cut for the PS4, Xbox One. Control for the PC, PS4, and Xbox
That's right.
One.
Right, I was waiting for it.
Wreckfest, PS4, and Xbox One. Headspun.
Wreckfest, all on the floor, Wreckfest.
Did you say breakfast all on the floor? Like you got
Wreckfest.
Oh, okay.
Headspun for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Heave ho for the PC and Switch. Just Cause 4 Danger Rising DLC.
Seven Dwarfs shout out.
There you go. Sorry, Just Cause 4 Danger Rising DLC, PC, PS4, Xbox One. Blair Witch for the PC and Xbox One, August 30th. Get you some.
When are you playing that, Ed?
Friday.
I know, right?
Please,
you're
make it
in the
Friday.
middle of Control. There's no way you switch
I mean, we've got no work Friday coming up, but I may have to do
that's what I'm talking about. Come on.
Evening stream or something.
Ooh, instead of cooking, be like cooking with the witch.
Cooking with the Blair. Cooking with Blair.
Right?
Cooking witches.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous.
Finally, the Dark Pictures, Man of Medan, or Medan, or Medan, Madame, I don't know. PC, PS4, and Xbox One. We had one oops. Gabe and I kind of messed up. Oh man, Guido. All right, first time I get to do this, but at Video Games and at T-Router. Nashville does have an arcade, though it moved to Smyrna. It's called Game Galaxy. Used to be in Hickory Hollow Mall. They also have one in Rivergate. You also have 2 Bits.
Jeez.
I think that's the name of it for headquarters, and Kung Fu Saloon that are barcades.
Here's the thing.
Hit me, man, because I don't know any of this.
He's right. However, like that, when you think of arcade, Game Galaxy is the closest place as far as when you think of an arcade. That's what you get. 2-Bit is kind of an arcade, but it's definitely way more bar.
I was going to say it's more bar than anything
And
else.
then Kung Fu Saloon, which I told you guys I wear those shirts all the time. Remember I was telling you that my gaming shirts that I love was the Donkey Kong one. That's a Kung Fu Saloon shirt. So I'm very aware of Kung Fu Saloon, but it also is more like bar college hangout with like cornhole outside and and all that stuff. And like yes, it has arcade games. Right, but like when you think of like Dave and Buster's or what's that like gaming, Ghost Gaming or whatever in Chicago, where like when you think of like the old school arcades, they're not really that. Game Galaxy is the closest one. Okay. And we do have one of those, and it did close down, the one that was in and that's actually where I bought my arcade cabinet from. When I built my arcade cabinet years ago, I bought it from Game Galaxy. So he is right. We do have Game Galaxy and some of these other places, but it's not like what you think.
Okay.
Well, it's not like what we were thinking of, probably, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Gotcha. Well, there you have it.
But that's fair. I'll still say that's a fair oops.
Totally fair. Oops. That is it for me. Back to you, gentlemen.
Chris McCracken.
Yes, so just real quickly, want to touch on this because I don't know how it slipped our brains, but we did not talk about it last week.
Because Gamescom.
That's true, but I still feel like this was a big enough deal that we should have mentioned it. And true. That is that Sony now owns Insomniac Games.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's cray-cray.
Spider-Man 2.
It's very crazy because, yes, they have a very long history of working with Sony, but I don't know, man. I just always thought, they really, really value their independence and they're just going to stick that way. I honestly would have thought Sony would have acquired Quantic Dream before I ever would have thought they would have acquired Insomniac. And not because Sony wouldn't want to acquire them. Clearly, they're a very talented developer. Right. I just really bought into that, nah, man, Insomniac wants to be independent. They like rolling that way. So I was super excited, but I was also took me for a loop.
By surprise.
I did not expect it. Yes.
I think they offered a very, very nice package given the success of Spider-Man. And I think
baby.
And I think it might be something that's like, this is too good to pass up. And you know what? Kudos to them. They deserve every penny.
Well, it's not just Spider-Man's the most recent.
Yeah, that's true.
The Ratchet and Clank games. They did Resistance, I believe, which
they did Sunset Overdrive on the Xbox.
Yes, they did.
Spider-Man was the most critically acclaimed, though, I think they've ever done.
Yeah, but they've got a very strong, healthy catalog and a lot of big successes.
No, I feel you, but I think what Tim is saying is the success of Spider-Man probably pushed Sony over the top to be like, okay, we need these guys just with us. Yeah. We need them not making games for anybody else.
And good for Sony for locking them up because I think that's really great for them, and I'm really looking forward to what they've got coming up. I think that's great.
And hopefully good for everybody because I would imagine when you're a developer on your own, I've asked Stancil this, I've asked other people this, I don't understand how it works, how you put out a product and then just live on that money for like 6 years until the next project comes out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I would hope that for Insomniac, it takes a little bit of that pressure off.
Right.
Even though Spider-Man did bananas. But, it takes a little bit of that pressure off of like, all right, Sony's bankrolling, we can take our time. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
I love that.
Spider-Man 2 hopefully is what they're working on.
I love it.
But I'm so happy for those guys. And I just hope they're happy.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, me too.
Is more my thing.
And you're not selling out. Don't think you're a sellout. You make amazing games. You're going to be just fine. This is only to help you.
I think anytime a big company buys a smaller company, the people at the smaller company, the employees, probably get a little nervous.
Of course. So am I getting fired?
Yeah. So hopefully, everything is fine for everyone involved.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, considering how often they've worked with Sony and Sony's relative reputation of, hey, when a studio does well, we let them have some freedom.
Right.
Now, clearly, Sony's like, hey, we could use none of them Spider-Man games. But at the same time, if Insomniac was like, okay, well, we'll make the second Spider-Man game or whatever, but we also have this other project we'd like to do, Sony's usually going to be like, yeah, green light that, whatever, because, you're a quality team here and you can do it. And I bet that's a big part of it as well. Maybe why they more specifically went with Sony is not just because of the history of working with them, but I mean, they know them, they probably know each other really well, so they had to have felt super comfortable with this move.
Yeah, definitely.
After all the years of bowing, like we really dig our independence, and I'm sure that they had a good working relationship with Microsoft when they did Sunset Overdrive. But part of me wonders, I wonder if there was anything there that they were like, oh, we tried the other side see if the grass was greener on the other side, so to speak, and it wasn't any better, or maybe it just wasn't as good, or I wonder if any of that's there. Of course, we'll never really know. But
yeah,
what do you think? I never understood why that game didn't take off. I felt like it should have done better than it did.
Yeah.
I will be completely honest. I didn't like it.
Really?
I bought it expecting to like it, and I didn't enjoy it. But that's a me thing. Once I got into it, I was like, okay, now that I see what this is not what I'm looking for. I was expecting kind of something similar to Ratchet and Clank, but just more with humans instead of, the space creatures and everything. And I guess it was kind of that way because you did have the goofy weapons and whatnot, but I don't know. it just didn't work for me.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised as well. After I played it, I just assumed it was a big hit, but it was not.
But you enjoyed it, right?
Yeah,
Ed?
I really did, yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's weird. Huh. It looks so good.
Is that a game now? Now that Sony owns them, could that game go to PlayStation, or does Xbox own that because it's an exclusive? How does that work? Do you guys know?
I don't know. We don't know who owns that IP. Yeah. So it's very possible that Microsoft actually owns that IP. Or they could just own the title of it. A lot of times the way that some companies will get around that is like, I'm drawing a blank on, I think it was maybe the Mass Effect games, but whatever, but it was only coming to Xbox, or there was some game if I have the game incorrectly, but there was a game that came to Xbox, and then later on it did come to PlayStation, but they had to title it slightly differently.
Oh, right.
Even though it was the same game, that's how they got around it. And I think that's actually happened the opposite direction as well, where a game was on PlayStation, and then they had to change the title slightly, or be like, blah, blah,
Sunrise
blah, Ultimate
Overdrive.
Edition.
Yeah.
Something weird like that, like a small
Mass Effect.
change. So it's possible if those kind of loose ends are there, then it could come to PlayStation. But if I had to guess, I bet that game's gonna stay on Xbox.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I would think so. And the only thing I could think of is part of this deal, Sony bought the rights to it, which would have been a huge
Doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it too, because it's an older game, so I don't know.
Well, and like we're saying, it didn't like do bananas, so it's not like
Right.
you know, unless they got a deal, which I again doubt it. So we all know that GameStop has been on the struggle bus for a couple years now. But they are also the place for the best gaming deals because they're the only game store really that is kind of across the country. They're the ones that can do the, trade in your Switch and upgrade for $75. We'll give you $225 kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they laid off a bunch of people. This was last week during Gamescom. And so, you kind of saw them floundering. We've seen them floundering for a long time. And then this news came out, and I don't even know who this guy is. Michael Burry. I guess he was in The Big Short. Yeah. Christian Bale played him in The Big Short. And I never saw The Big Short, but I know it's something about mortgages and how some people made a bunch of money. Ed, did you see it?
I did, yeah.
Is that about right? Some people made a bunch of money off of something with mortgages.
Yeah, it was a movie that made mortgages very approachable for the layman like myself, and quite funny as well.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Christian
Bale's great, but anyway, the real guy, Michael Burry, actually owns 3 million shares, which is about 3% of GameStop. Of GameStop shares, and he said he thinks GameStop is currently at its lowest point, and that the balance sheet actually is in very good shape, and he thinks the company will bounce back when PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scarlet, or whatever it is called, comes out next year, because they've both confirmed that they're still going to be doing physical games, along with obviously the consoles are physical.
Yeah.
And so I just thought that was really interesting, and I wanted to ask you guys, like, what do you think there's a chance for a GameStop, or do you think that it's too far down the road, or do you agree with this guy, Michael Burry, that like maybe they could make a comeback?
I gotta agree with, just because he makes the point that, next year we've got those 2 consoles coming out, and, they both said they're going to have physical discs. And that may be, he said, we're just having a really bad year. And so maybe he's got a point that it still may turn around with these new consoles coming out, and people wanting to buy and sell and rebuy new and used games.
Yeah. And I just wonder if that's just going to be a spike, though, if that can turn into a long-term plan. Chris, what do you think?
I do agree that when the new hardware comes out, that they're definitely going to get a boost there, because they're going to be one of the retailers that has the ability to sell that, just like your Best Buys and Targets and whatever else. So I absolutely think they'll get a bit of a shot in the arm then. I think they could probably figure out some strategies and some plans and last for another 3, 4, 5 years maybe. But I do think the writing's on the wall. I think they're going to die away. I believe they will become Blockbuster. They're going to go away.
Yeah.
I don't think they're long for this world. They're just going to be able to keep it at bay as long as possible. And they could still do that for a good amount of time. But I mean, heck, there's been a lot of companies that were on the brink of death and then figured something out and came back strong.
Yeah.
So who knows? They could do it. I mean,
Yeah.
Outside of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, Pixar did it. Apple did it.
Apple did it, yeah.
Tim, what do you think? You think they have to change the way they're doing things to survive, or you think they can stick around the way they're doing it and just live off this little bump in console sales next year?
Yeah, I think if they're going to survive, I think it's going to be the console swaps, used games, all that kind of stuff. It's not necessarily going to be on new games or anything of that sort because digital's taking over there. But if they say they've got a decent bottom line, that's everything. For a lot of companies, that's what you're looking for. And if they have that and they have a decent balance sheet, then yeah. And I think you're right. I think with these consoles, that's where they're probably going to make the bulk of their money. So yeah. Godspeed. I mean, I think that's great. I haven't set foot in one in probably a year.
Yeah.
And that might be indicative of other people as well, but you never know. You never ever know. So we'll see.
What's crazy is the last time I've actually gone in them. I'm sure they're everywhere where you guys are as well, but they're all over around here. And I'm sure in part because they're also based out of, right around the corner over here. But I went into one a couple months ago when I was trying to pre-order Death Stranding, the collector's edition, because there's this one down the street to me that's a premier store or premium store, whatever they call it, and that's because they get a lot of traffic and they get that title, and that means that they usually
it's a different pre-word.
Yeah, it's something like that. But basically what it means is that whenever...
Prestige, like, for instance, I think is what it is.
Yeah, that might have been it. But like when the Switch first came out and it was a little bit scarce, like they were guaranteed to get more than most other stores because they have this label and they have really good sales and yada yada. So I went there thinking, okay, I'm going to be able to pick it up here. I'm going to go pick it up at midnight. It's the same place where I bought my God of War Collector's Edition and I bought my Spider-Man Collector's Edition. And the dude was like, yeah, it's Collector's Edition is not in our system. And it's not available. I was like, really? Like, you got to be kidding me. And so I ended up getting it through Best Buy, which I got a better deal through Best Buy because I got hooked up with the Gamers Club discount on it.
Yep. All right, Gamers Club.
But I was like, man, that really surprised me. I was like, man, that's weird. That's a first for me to come in here and not be able to get exactly what I'm looking for.
Right.
So, who knows?
Yeah, it's GameStop, right? It's not cell phone stop. It's not other trinket stop. But what's interesting is when you go into GameStop, like in New York or like at the Times Square GameStop, number one, it's like 2 or 3 levels. And they've got so much crap that they're selling in there. And I'm wondering if GameStop is going to start turning into that. We've seen it a little bit. They're now selling iPads and phones and like used electronics and stuff like that. And I really don't want it to become a knick-knack store, but I don't know outside of the launch years of the consoles what they can really drive the profit with besides giving you 75 cents for Red Dead Redemption, then turn around selling it for $35.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they weather the storm after the consoles, because I think it's got to be between now and summer it's got to be a struggling time besides Christmas, obviously. But you've got that time where once you get a little later in the year, then people are definitely starting to pre-order and stuff like that. And you're getting foot traffic. But you've got to think that there's still going to be some achy months between now and the next console.
Well, and think about this year too. In my opinion, I don't think 2019 has been the best year for video games anyway. There hasn't been these huge, AAA games or the games that they're going to bring in a lot of money. There haven't really been a ton of those this year. But, next year we've got new consoles. We've got some highly anticipated games. Yep. So I'm like retail, it's a roller coaster and it's extremely cyclical. So a lot just depends on what kind of products they have to sell.
Yeah, we'll see, huh? Gracious. Christopher.
Crazy.
Lay one more on us, doggy.
Yes. It looks like, at least in some shape or form, the Telltale games might be coming back.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, what the
man?
Heck?
So this about? This company that goes by the name LCG Entertainment looks like they have bought up the rights for Telltale games, and they are basically recreating it. I think it's actually going to continue to go by the name Telltale.
Oh, obviously,
is it? The original, that's at least the story that I have from GameSpot seems to say that that's the way that it's going to go.
Interesting.
It's this gentleman named, I think it's a gentleman, might be a Mrs. Jamie, I don't know how to say her last name, Outta, I'm going to say, and then Brian Waddle. which I like that name. Yeah. Brian Waddle. It says that they're part of the team that went and made all these purchases, and it says that some of the workers from the original Telltale games said that the workers from the original Telltale games will be offered as freelance roles at the new Telltale. So that kind of leads me to believe that they're going to name it, maybe not Telltale Games, maybe they're only calling it Telltale.
Yeah.
But they said that they are going to be bringing back some of their other licensed properties.
Well, they said they're going to be like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, licensed properties, except like the big ones, like Stranger Things has gone back to Netflix. Yeah. And I think The Walking Dead, Skybound got that back. And so they won't have those. It seems like they still have The Wolf Among Us.
Yep. And they have Batman.
Yes, please.
So still some of the big hitters that people were really into, and it's specifically with Wolf Among Us, and I believe Batman as well, they kind of left on cliffhangers and didn't finish out in any real way. Definitely The Wolf Among Us, and Batman was only 2 seasons, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and it ended kind of on a bit of a cliffhanger too. Like it didn't wrap up with a nice little bow, right?
I don't remember it wrapping up with a bow.
Didn't you play it?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely ended that story, but again, with Batman, it never really ends in a bow just because.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like. So, what are your thoughts on if Telltale in some form or fashion is going to be resurrected?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Because I think most of us, at least, like I know I really enjoyed season 1 of The Walking Dead.
Of course.
Of course.
That's probably. And then I did play most of season 2. I didn't get to play season 3. And then I never really got much into any of the other ones. I dabbled a little bit with Tales from the Borderland because I got a free episode, and I enjoyed what I played of it, but I didn't end up purchasing it. I never played Wolf Among Us. I didn't play Batman. I didn't do Game of Thrones. I just kind of, by that point, I was over the Telltale engine and the jank and all that kinds of stuff. I was like, you know what? I'm good until they switch things up, and then, they end up closing down.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I love a good comeback story. In the sense of, rising from the ashes of, bad management and still a lawsuit being out there against the higher ups there. And so, which they said won't affect this new company. So, I mean, definitely something to keep our eye on. It's definitely interesting to me. I always appreciated what they did. We talked about it on the show once Game of Thrones and all these other things were coming out. It definitely felt like they were spreading themselves too thin. Yeah. Instead of doing the thing that they did really well, it seemed like they were just trying to do a lot of things. And so, it'll be really interesting to see. And I hope that, they did talk about bringing back some old people first in a freelance way, and then maybe in a more permanent way. And it seems like they're wanting to grow slow. It seems like they're trying to learn from the mistakes of past Telltale, right? Yeah, exactly. Instead of, getting too big. They said scalability was one of the issues with why it failed the first time. Because we have to remember, like, I guess they've been around since 2004 and then didn't really hit the big time till 2012. And, when you work in that way and then all of a sudden, and I think this would happen for anybody, like imagine that all 4 of us were just living our lives and then we did something cool and then we were famous all of a sudden. Right. Like to make a misstep after that is going to be really easy. And so, and we've seen famous people make missteps 10 years ago that's coming back to bite them now. And so, I think missteps are going to be super easy to make. And, those guys probably just didn't see it coming or know how to handle it. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden this Binks truck pulls up and was like, this is you. And you're like, oh, snap. Okay, well, we need this, we need that, we need this, we need that. With some of the stuff you don't need.
It's a scramble. Or that. You want to stay relevant and you want to stay on top of it. And I think that was their issue is...
Yeah, hence Game of Thrones and all that. They're like, Game of Thrones is hot, let's do Game of Thrones.
Yep, exactly. What's the latest thing? All right, let's do that too. Here's what I would love to see in this. I love the fact that they're inviting the devs back because that's just really cool to be able to hire them as freelancers at least. If they come out with a Wolf Among Us 2, lead off with that. I think it'll be a success. I think they'll be able to pull this off because that was for me, that and The Walking Dead were by far the best Telltale series and probably the most popular. And I played some of the other ones too, but I always go back to The Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us. Lead off with Wolf Among Us 2, ride that out for a little while, take your time, don't make it janky, and like create a great story. And I think they've got a shot. I think this is something that I would love to see a revival of that, because I do love their games.
Yeah. They did things extremely right, and so those people are still out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there's
Ed, what do you think?
Part of me that wonders, you know, because I love the idea of having a studio that tells really good stories, you know, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, they tell more like tales and stuff.
Yes, they do tell tales through games.
Yeah, more than stories, they tell tales for sure.
And I liked the idea that they wanted to bring back some of the devs and stuff. And then I follow some of those devs on Twitter, and it was interesting to see their reaction. It was kind of like, look at this, you know?
Really?
So there's part of me that wonders, you know, because a lot of them don't have good memories of working at Telltale, and even though it's under different management, do they want to, you know, is it too soon for them to even, you know, have they been able to put that and process it and put it behind them? And
even though it's different people,
I almost thought like they might benefit from having a different name.
Yeah.
If nothing else, I mean, keep the games the same name, and you can continue on the franchises, so to speak.
Don't you think that's a little hard though, Chris? Like if you were to release, you know, if the Eagles broke up and wanted to get back together and put out some music, like it's hard not to want to ride the brand just to get the game out there. You know what I'm saying? If the Eagles came back as the car washers, you'd be like, oh, this car washers thing sounds like the Eagles.
Well, but what I'm going to say works for me and against me. Okay. But to me, the developer brand means nothing. It's the game that means something.
Yeah, that's true.
So what I mean by that is that Joe Blow consumer, they remember, oh yeah, I really liked my Walking Dead game. I don't think they really care or understand or paid attention to who the developer was. But on the other side of the fence, all the people who do pay attention to that, they know the history of Telltale, and they know the aches and pains that came with that developer's name, and all their favorite developers are people that worked for that company that they felt for when they were getting, you know, all their, you know, cut without any severance and, you know, insurance left and everything. So on the one hand, the people who pay attention to that stuff, which I know is a small group, I think it's going to be a problem, could be a problem for them, or there's negativity there to that name. But then I think most consumers, they don't know. They pay attention to Wolf Among Us name. They know that name.
True.
They know The Walking Dead.
I don't know if it's true.
Tales from the Borderlands.
I think it goes back and forth. I think gamers know developers. Now, the general consumer, yes, you're probably right. But there's a lot of gamers that follow developers. And, you know.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm
kind of with you on this, Gabe.
I would think that I can't say almost everybody, but like, I would think there'd be a large majority of people that know Bungie's name. Right?
See, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't. I mean,
this is the only reason I say it. When I've gotten to go to these places and I come back and tell just gamers like Toby's oldest son Truett, he's nowhere near us when it comes to you know, diving into news and knowing developers. But he was like, "You got to go to Bungie?" Like, it was a thing for him.
Wow.
And so I just think that, but that might be choosing a big one too. You know what I mean?
This is maybe a bit unfair, but I don't think Telltale, even at its height of power, was nowhere near a Bungie or a Naughty Dog.
I just wonder,
in terms of developer name recognition, I just don't think they were. I think their properties had name recognition. I don't
totally
think they did.
agree with you, but I feel like their game style looked so similar that, like, if you played The Wolf Among Us and you played The Walking Dead, you knew it was the same people. Right. And so I just wonder if that name would stick with you. I just think them more than like maybe Insomniac. But like I think people know Rockstar does Grand Theft Auto just because the name is so ginormous. The games are so ginormous. So I think people that are really big fans of those games know that it's Telltale.
But here's what I'm getting at. I don't think as many people as you may have the impression could be the case. I think there's less people that were huge fans of Telltale. I think there were more people that were fans of maybe the art style, the style of game, and those franchises in particular. There were a lot of people that loved and played The Walking Dead and that played like Tales from the Borderlands and maybe Wolf Among Us, but did not care about Batman. It did not care about Game of Thrones. It did not care about these other ones, so they didn't play them. And I think if they were diehard Telltale fans, they'd have played anything they could. And I think there were those people out there. I think there was way less of those people than there are like mega fans of Bungie or Naughty Dog, or these other really mega developers.
Right.
That's my perspective.
I just think that Telltale probably is slightly more popular than just the regular old guys that are putting out video games, only because the art style was so unique. Because I love Telltale too. I wasn't about to touch Game of Thrones or none of that. And it's not about Telltale. I love them and I wanted to support them, but I'm not just gonna. I didn't go back and play, Back to the Future, or Jurassic Park,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I still picked and chose.
You picked the ones you wanted to play. Exactly. I did the same thing.
I just don't know. I'm kind of in Chris's camp with this one. I think it's more about the title. If you were to tell me, hey, there's the
franchise.
Yeah, there's a brand new Harry Potter film out, but it's through Universal. I'd be like, I don't care if it's who it's through.
Right. True.
Is it a good Harry Potter film?
I know, but we've seen the uproar of, this whole Spider-Man leaving the MCU thing, and it seems like people are very aware that was Disney and Disney made it good. Now, again, to Chris's point, maybe it's because it's Disney and that name is just so big that's why you do it. But it's like, Sony, work this out, give Spider-Man back to Disney. Like, it seems like people really knew that more than just like, ooh, there's a new Spider-Man, let's go see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I've got a foot in both, actually, because I totally think what Chris is saying is valid. And I think that with a lot of people, like, maybe like Crytek or something like that, you're like, you might not know what engine and all that did Crysis, but with these games, because it's the look is so specific.
Right.
It feels like maybe people would, and you see that name over and over if I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's such a difficult thing because on the one hand, you do have people that are like all pro devs.
Well, yeah. And what's hard is that it's both. Really.
Yeah, it is both. It is both. But yeah, if I see anything about The Wolf Among Us 2, no matter who it is, I'm like, all right, I'm in. So maybe that's your that's your case in point. But it's just like how would actually the general public feel about it?
I think that it would cause more positives than negatives. There's going to be people like what Chris said that are like, Telltale, though, they didn't really do their people right. Yeah, but like we talked about last week, like, none of us have ever actually boycotted anything ever. And so it might be a feeling you have, but like, you're not going to play The Walking Dead because it's still called Telltale and you don't know who's running it?
Yeah.
I think you're still going to play it. Right. Regardless, because you're in love with the thing.
I actually have boycotts. I boycott vertical videos.
You don't like anything in portrait.
As well you should.
Instagram is ruining us for that, Chris. We're not going to get it back.
Anytime somebody says IGTV, I'm like, what?
I know.
No thanks.
I'm with you, Chris. We did our first thing the other day. This is way off topic, but it was interesting because so I handle like a lot of videos that you might see of Toby like on social media. I'll be shooting it, right? And so they sent us this long sheet the other day. They're like, hey, we need some video shot. And I was like, cool. They were like, shoot these in vertical, these in horizontal. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
I was like, you jokers better be glad I'm a team player because I would shoot all these in landscape. I absolutely understand.
I am a dying breed. I am fighting the long defeat. I understand too, baby. That.
Me, you, and GameStop.
Exactly.
Fighting the long defeat.
And the elves of Middle Earth. We're fighting the long
defeat. But there is a good thing knowing that no TV will ever be set up the other way.
Yes.
There's no way we ever take. They're not going to redo every theater in the country to be vertical screens.
Exactly.
16-9 to
we will win in the end, but it's just going to hurt getting there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Eduardo, now that we've gone all the way around the mulberry bush.
Exactly.
Yes.
What you got for us?
Well, over on the YouTube channel, as mentioned, brand new this week, we've got the first 2 episodes of Control. We've also got that conversation with Valerie Rose Lohman. You can check that out. Game Pass, just a reminder, as Tim mentioned, this week out is Bard's Tale 4, the director's cut, and Blair Witch on the 30th. Again, if you've got Game Pass, those are both free for you. Or no
I forgot it's free.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I'm still not getting it.
Exactly.
I can't. I just can't. I can't bring myself to do it, man. No. I was stressed out during Detroit so bad that I was like, man, this is a regular game.
I just really don't want it to be a hide and seek game. I'm going to be so bummed if it
What
is.
do you think it's going to be? It's got to be hide and seek.
It just might be a scary game. Like Layers of Fear wasn't really hide and seek. I don't know.
No, it's gonna be hide and seek. Yeah.
Well, I don't know 100%, but I would just imagine it's got to be.
There's no way it can't.
I'm hoping it focuses more on the story than on constant chasing.
Well, yeah, it'll be interesting what story.
Yeah,
because there's not really a story to the movie. So
but they may not be going along with the movie.
Yeah, this is.
If I remember from the trailer, he does the whole like, "Oh, I've got the video camera so I can see in the night vision, and where's my batteries?" And I just think it's
I hate that crap already.
I feel like it's going to be more of that, and I'm not saying that won't be fun or won't still be good, and it would be cool if it also tied in more on the some type of story side. But I think it's going to be a lot of hide.
From what I understand, it's the search for a missing boy.
Yep. Nope.
That's kind of the framework for it.
No,
and you get that dog.
Gabe's like, nope.
Because I remember when the trailer first dropped, I thought it was another Outlast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And you did Alien Isolation. That felt a little hide and seekish.
It was.
Did you enjoy that?
You know what? And I don't know what the difference was. Why I finished that You know what? I think it's because Alien Isolation also came with long stints of not hide and seek.
Oh, maybe okay. Because I just remember, and
you did have weapons in Alien Isolation. So yeah.
When you're fully equipped with 3 clips of film and some batteries for your camera, I'm like, I'm not playing this game.
Yeah. And
that's about as far as
anytime I play a game and I open a drawer and find batteries, I'm like, I'm probably gonna bounce because I don't want to have to worry about batteries.
Yeah, that's gonna be a no from me, dog.
Yep.
See, batteries be darned.
Exactly.
Not happening.
Had to get my Randy Jackson out on them games.
That's right.
Over on PlayStation, they've released the games for September for PS Plus.
Yeah.
We've got Darksiders 3 and Batman Arkham Knight. So definitely add those to your library as well.
Gosh, please play the Batman games. Just whoever's out there.
I will probably replay them again. I mean, I've been replaying Sniper Elite 4 and having a blast. I will probably play them again.
I will tell you this. If you like the combat of Spider-Man, it's not going to be as good as Spider-Man.
Right.
But for those of us that played Batman first, and then played Spider-Man, we're like, oh, this feels like Batman.
Yep.
So if you enjoyed that combat, get on it. That's awesome. Yeah. Is that it?
That's it.
Thanks, Eduardo.
You're welcome.
Well, every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was no different. We asked, which superhero do you feel deserves their own standalone video game, and what type of game should it be? In the actual podcast, I did a way worse job of saying it like that.
That was really good, man.
I was like, what video what files do you think? Like, should zip files? Starting on Discord, we got Malcorvus. He said, Carnage is my all-time favorite. I would love to see him in his own game. Carnage in a GTA style game would be so fun.
What's Carnage from?
Carnage is the red version of Venom.
There's a red version?
That's how I think of him.
He's not exactly the same character, but he's a human covered in a symbiote.
Okay. But it's like, it's
symbiote,
very much like Venom, except
the Venom way.
more drippy looking.
Okay.
Yeah.
And red. Right? Isn't he red?
I don't know.
Yes, he is red.
MLS Chop. I grew up a huge fan of Cable from X-Men. I used to love Cable too.
Wow.
And I think he'd fit an FPS game in the style of BioShock. He'd have his big guns, but could also use his telekinetic powers to move enemies, objects, and use his telepath powers in the way that Skyrim would use speech skill to potentially talk his way out of situations. Since he has to keep his virus in check, the more you rely on powers, the more your health is impacted. So the player would need to balance both. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Hollywood Bones. I got to give this one to Hollywood Bones. Superman, of course. And for those that don't know, Hollywood Bones showed up to MTTG E300 in a Superman outfit in every day in anticipation of a Superman game being announced at E3 last year. And no bueno.
No bueno.
Nope.
But he was there.
Yeah.
And he was adorable in his little Superman outfit. And he was very upset. So Hollywood Bones, says Superman, of course. This would be a third-person action game in the likes of the Arkham series and the new Spider-Man game. We need the game to focus on Superman as a human being rather than this overpowered superhero. For example, Superman would have to have choices like who to save. Maybe only one of 4 people, since the others died. This weighs on him, and you would watch him struggle with that, providing depth to his character. There could be stealth missions with him being Clark Kent, as to not reveal his identity and to not get too much into it. Toward the end of the game is just like the rest of the game. You have the choice: be evil Superman or good Superman. I think it could happen. Just need the right story to tell and the studio to tell it. Oh, and Blank Man, get him a superhero game.
Blank Man. That's awesome.
Oh, that's one of the wins.
Yep.
Oh gosh, that's funny.
Yeah, it is.
Over on Twitter, we got Geeks with Faith at Geeks with Faith. First time I'm seeing that name. Welcome to the family, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Besides the obvious like Superman and Iron Man, I really think a Black Widow game in the style of Metal Gear Solid would be awesome.
Ooh.
I could see that.
Yeah, there you have it. Well, she just needs her movie to come out, get more eyes on her than maybe.
There you go.
We got Forrester M83 at Gemini 52869. Doctor Strange. It could be a fantasy RPG with a little horror element thrown in. There you go. Rising Storm at Rising Storm GG. Black Panther, but a prequel with the original Black Panther in old Wakanda with Darksider style combat. And why in my head I just picture NWA for some strange reason. That would be funny because like if old Wakanda looked like Compton, I think that'd be really funny.
Straight out of Wakanda.
yeah.
Crazy mother trucker.
Yeah. Oh. They call me BP.
That's awesome.
All right.
That's right.
Mike Doherty, Rocket and Groot, like Ratchet and Clank style.
Oh.
He also said Black Widow, Metal Gear tactical espionage. Hawkeye, Infamous, like moral choices, turns more Ronin if you go to the dark side. Star-Lord and Thor, intergalactic buddy cop game. He said, and he said, I may have just watched Endgame, so that's why they're all in mind.
That's funny.
That's funny. Austin Phillips, I think Rogue. It would be a coming of age RPG game where the higher level you are, the more powers you retain from other heroes. That's the thing, Rogue, man. She's undervalued, I think, because she should be the strongest superhero ever. Because all she has to do is touch you and get your powers, and now she's can rock it. It might be more complicated than that. I have no idea. Micah Garnett, I'd kill for a Green Lantern action RPG. Imagine using the powers of each emotional spectrum as a White Lantern, with each color having its own playstyle. Think Borderlands skill tree. Green Lantern lore is so rich, it's a shame we haven't gotten a game already. It's also a shame we haven't got a good movie.
Right?
Bingo.
If his lore is so rich.
We're looking at you, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Thank God you did Deadpool.
Right?
Gavin Irwin, Ghost Rider. The game should be open world map like Los Santos. Now, during daylight hours, your Johnny Blaze could do anything you want. Then when darkness hits you, you become the Ghost Rider, dealing with the monsters and the crimes that they do to the innocent people. Ghost Rider.
Sounds like a Days Gone to me.
Oh, yeah. It would probably look like that, wouldn't it?
Yep.
These are good ideas.
I know.
Yeah, they're all great. I
Copyright
love all
Married to the Games and all these people in our community.
Right.
That's right.
So if we see these games pop up, we know where you were listening. Stancil, don't steal none of these.
Freaking
That's right.
Stancil.
We're looking at you, Stancil. He's writing them all down. Oh, this is good.
Yes. You know where to find us. Facebook.com/married to the games. Twitter.com/MTTGcast. Of course, marriedtothegames.com. You come listen to all the episodes there and get yourself a shirt or a hoodie. You know, the winter is coming. Fall is coming. Winter is coming. Might be time for a hoodie. Also, like Ed said, youtube.com/marriedtothegames. If you have a couple hours in the middle of the day, I highly recommend you type in your address bar twitch.com/edplacencia and twitch.tv /Ed Placencia.
Yes, .tv. Get it right.
Sorry. Hopefully they've bought the .com, so it just forwards there. And get your Ed Placencia on. He's so great to watch. Fridays are days that he does with the community, so you can play along with him, whether it's Overwatch or used to be Jackbox games there for a little bit. So Ed is very fun to watch. Just put him on in the background and just listen to him make jokes and degrade himself as he
love listening to him laugh. That's my favorite. Just listening to him laugh.
Also on Patreon, if you'd like to support the show, if you've been listening for a little bit and you're like, you know what, I'll throw those guys $1 every month and get in on this crazy Discord action, please do it, man. Patreon.com/MTTG. And on Extra Life, we are putting together the team. November is coming. And we are going to be raising money for these children. extra-life.org/team/MTTG. Woo! And Chris McCracken.
Rate us on iTunes so that maybe one day you'll get on a plane and realize that everybody's going to MTTG Con.
Ooh, I like that.
That's
a good one, Chris.
That's a really good one, Chris. Ooh, and that makes me nervous. I want to do it. I just got
sweating already.
Yeah. This is a problem.
What venue? Where are we going?
Exactly. Well, let's get into some questions.
All right, let's start with Discord MLX. What's that one game that no matter how many times you rage quit, you keep coming back to?
Ooh.
Apex.
Yeah, I was about to say.
The last year, or the last 9 months, 8 months, whatever the heck it's been.
It's probably been less than that.
7 months, jeez. Because it came out in February, didn't it?
Something like that.
Something like that. Woo. Feels like it's been around forever.
Yeah. Edward?
I don't rage pause.
No, you
rage quit.
You rage quit.
Yeah. I do not.
You did go back to Recore, was it?
I went back to Recore after they like remastered and redid things to it. And then at the same spot as the first time, I was like, nope.
Ooh. Same spot. Tim?
I've rage quit Overwatch and gone back to it.
It's true, you have.
It absolutely. I have left a game. I'm like, well, this is done before it even started. I'm out. And I took my little punishment for it, and an hour or two later I came back and then came right back to it. Ooh. It keeps calling me, man. It keeps calling me.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so many times during Clash Royale that I throw it down and I'm like, I'm uninstalling this game. And then I go back to my phone and I'm like, I can't quit you.
That's
and
right.
So Clash is just, I don't know. I found a new game though.
Gears Pop?
No, I don't really know anything about that, but I've been hearing a lot about it. Have you played it, Gears Pop?
I did, and then it's very much like Clash Royale, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm not going to get into this, and I uninstalled it.
Uninstalled it. Yeah, there you go. This one's called Archero. 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 And it's really fun. It's just one player. It's not a team thing, which, kind of bums me out because I'm actually really love doing the clan thing and everybody participating and all that. But it's just a little fun little pick up and play situation.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did Gwent ever come out for mobile?
I think it did. I stopped paying attention.
God, I know. He did. I might want to pick that back up again too. But I got Hearthstones, and I think that's better.
Yeah, baby.
All good. B-Dog1221. So I'm going on my first cabin trip in October. I've never been that deep in the wilderness.
Oof. Yeah.
What's some advice you'd give to someone new to the woods, and what are some things you like to do in nature? Also, I'm bringing my camera, so I'll have dope pics.
Play Blair Witch right before you go.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely do that. Watch all Friday the 13th movies. And, oh man, have fun. In October, it should be Great weather. It should be really nice. Just enjoy it, man.
I'm what my wife calls indoorsy.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you what to do. I don't have no idea. I don't do that kind of thing.
Just make sure you secure your trash in case there's bears nearby.
I would say jet ski in the lake.
There you go.
About as fun outside as I
wear a life
get.
vest.
Yeah. You can make it exciting. Don't wear a life vest.
You could. That's very true.
Did he say he's in a cabin or a?
Yes, he's in a cabin.
Okay, that's definitely the way to go. I'm not a tent person. I've done the tent a few times. Like, nah, man.
You have?
Cabin. I have.
What are you doing there?
I mean, you try not to sleep on like a root.
Yeah, that's true.
In the back. Yeah.
If it's warm, you're sweating.
It's not bad for sure.
That sounds
I'm
terrible.
a bit in Gabe's camp. Like, I'm definitely more of an indoorsy city folk kind of guy, but at the same time, I've done a lot of outdoor stuff growing up, and I used to hunt with my dad and everything like that. So I've experienced both. And camping can be fun, but I like camping with modern amenity camping.
Yep.
If that's what it is, and then I can spend some time like in, a wooded area or following the creek or going to the lake or whatever, and then come back to like a cabin that has, power and, television internet.
Indoor plumbing.
I'm good.
Netflix.
Yeah, I don't want to do any of that. Like, okay, and now we go and we burn our trash. It's like, no, that's not what I'm looking for.
So we all agree that we're glampers then, right?
I'm glamping for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're going to be hanging out outside the cabin, and if it's an area that has mosquitoes, I recommend citronella candles.
That doesn't work.
They do a really good job at keeping the bugs away, but it doesn't stink. It's got a nice smell to it.
Citronella works for you?
I don't think I've ever gotten it to work either.
Really? I cannot get citronella to work at all.
No.
But I also did. You remember when I did my DNA test?
Yeah.
They were like, your DNA shows that bugs are attracted to you.
Yeah.
So maybe my pheromones are stronger than the citronella.
Maybe. You got that sweetness, baby.
One of those big citronella candles that has like 3 wicks in it. They do a great job.
I've had 7
starts
of them
getting
before, and it didn't keep things away.
That gets too close to looking like a tiki torch for me. I'm scared of those these days.
Gosh.
Tiki torch.
You see me walking around the woods with a tiki torch? Isn't that what tiki torches are for?
Sure.
Now they are.
I thought they were for bugs.
I don't know.
At least last year they were for bugs.
I thought it was sacrifice. Like leading up to the sacrifice.
It got changed up, that's for sure.
Yeah, it did.
That's
now they're for embarrassing yourself in college.
Yeah, they're for bad choices.
Bad choices, exactly. All right, Mark Boucher. So the Good Morning Guys did an episode this week discussing all things pizza.
Yep.
Just wanted to ask you a few questions pertaining to pizza goodness. So here we go. Quick fire. Favorite toppings?
I'm simpleton. I mean, give me like a pepperoni and sausage or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. Some bell peppers. I do like bell peppers on there.
I genuinely, this isn't a cop-out, I genuinely don't care. I will eat anything.
You love pizza.
I love pizza.
So you mean like olives and spinach?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, I am right there with you. My wife loves the olives on the pizza, and I'm like,
Yes.
I thought we were doing pizza.
Dude, here we go. Pepperoni pineapple.
No.
Yes.
What's wrong with
Wait,
you?
pepperoni and pineapple?
1,000%, yes. Pepperoni and pineapple.
Oh man, that's silly.
Delicious.
No.
But I am with you, Ed. I will take anything. I love a good meat lovers.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't matter. Just bring it on.
It does matter.
All right.
I'm just saying, like, I don't want a salad.
To some
I want
people.
a pizza.
To some people. All right. Favorite cheap pizza?
DiGiorno's
Cheap
are good.
pizza.
I like DiGiorno's. Is that a cheap
Yeah,
pizza?
there's a handful of the different ones you can get in the frozen aisle. DiGiorno, I like DiGiorno. The Red Baron ones are actually pretty good. Stacy will buy the Totino's ones. I'm not so much for those.
Yeah,
but
DiGiorno's
she
are
likes
better than those. What say you, Ed? Cheap pizza.
Little Caesars.
Ooh, pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Pizza.
I didn't know they were still around,
Pop-
to tell you the truth.
Yeah, man.
Good for them.
I'll do Papa John's.
Yeah, Papa John's works.
I like me some Papa John's.
Yeah, putting the toppings under the cheese.
That's right. Favorite local place?
I Fratelli.
Tim, what's that place called right by my house? Sal's
Pizza. Yep.
Sal's or Gina's. There's a place called Gina's that's close to us too that we really like. Ed?
There's a place here called Marco's I like a lot.
Marco.
Tim?
I like it.
Does it have a pizza in the next to the M? Like, is the M made out of? I think we may have that. Is that a franchise?
I
guess,
believe it is a franchise, like a limited franchise.
Yeah, because if it is, I think we have those here too.
I'm kind of with you on Sal's, but there's also one where the Walgreens is on New Highway 96, Brooklyn Brothers.
Oh, yeah, Brooklyn Brothers is good. Yep.
Really yummy. I like that place. All right, favorite chain?
Shoot. I don't know. Probably Mellow Mushroom.
Ooh, that is good.
If I had to choose a chain. Ed?
I'll go Domino's.
Yeah, we do a lot of Domino's because there's one right by the house.
I'm with you, man. I've kind of rekindled Domino's. Their thin crust is really good. It's like I really enjoy that. So there's been a resurgence for me, for our family, on Domino's.
Chris, Jets is good too, though. Shoot.
Yeah, dang it.
I mean, I guess I'm gonna say Pizza Hut, but really it's only because we used to eat that a lot when I was a kid. I don't remember honestly the last time I've had that. But Stacy likes Papa John's.
I like Papa John's too.
Yeah.
I think it's all right. It tastes a little bland to me.
Uh-oh.
Like there's something missing from it. But she really digs it. So if we're gonna go outside of our favorite local one that I mentioned earlier, then we're probably gonna do Papa John's.
Gotcha.
But I always kind of like the stuffed crust thing. I was like, that's a nice change. Look, there's a reason to eat the crust.
Yeah.
It's got cheese in it.
Yep. All right, final one. Best pizza you've ever had?
So this is going to be skewed because you ever have one of those days where you really want something, don't know that you're going to get it, but then get it? Like the other day, I came off stage. I didn't know I wanted it, but when I looked in the dressing room, the food that they had gotten for us was ramen. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. So we were in Chicago and it just happened to be the perfect day, and they brought that deep dish, man, and it was so freaking good that I wanted to smack somebody with the piece of pizza.
Nice. Just slap them.
So I don't even know where it was from, but it was in Chicago. It was deep dish. I just got finished doing an hour and a half of jumping around on stage, and it hit the freaking spot.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
What say you, Chris?
The best pizza I've had is that local place, I Fratelli. I could eat that every day of the week, all the time.
Oh, you got to take me there next time, then.
Yeah, it's thin crust, and I'm a big fan of thin crust.
I like thin crust, too.
Yeah.
Yes. Ed, what do you got?
Giordano's in Chicago, deep dish.
That's probably where it was from, because that sounds really familiar.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So up in Jersey, I think I've said this before, there's a place called Baggio's. Used to go there all the time when my in-laws still lived up there. Best pizza I will ever have. I've craved it. In fact, when we drove up, we went to go visit our friend Dabney out in New York, and before we crossed the bridge, we stopped. We called 20 minutes before Baggio's and picked up a pizza and ate it while we were finishing our trip up to New York.
I know that's right.
That's how much we love it. So Baggio's Pizza. Shout out Baggio's, Fort Lee, New Jersey.
Yeah, baby. I'm not mad at that.
There it is. Love that. Great question. Thanks for that, Mark. Facebook, Nick Huntress. Advice for getting kids into gaming. I really want to pass my love for games onto my kids, but struggling with where to start, what age, etc. Any experience you guys have had with fun games that are fun for kids and kid appropriate?
I mean, I don't think you can beat Nintendo, honestly, as a gateway drug.
Mm-hmm. Probably not.
My kids love, and remember, I have a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and they all three love the little mini NESs and the mini SNES. They love those games because they don't know no better. They don't know that, and they don't care. Like, they don't need the 60 frames a second. Like, they don't know anything about that. So the 2DSs are amazing. And then I think iPads are amazing, especially when it comes to a little bit more like teaching games, and stuff like that. ABC Mouse and stuff like that. I think I don't think you can go wrong with the Nintendo. I mean, I just don't. Edward?
I mean, advice on getting kids into gaming. I don't know a lot about kids, but I think I would just say, hey, you want to play a video game?
But you got some 14-year-olds on some video games pretty recently, right?
Yeah, I mean...
what were you guys playing? and that's a little older. I don't know how old these kids are of Nick's. But.
Yeah, I mean, just
they were playing GTA 5.
Exactly, GTA 5. The bloodier the better. Dead by Daylight.
Exactly.
Like no problem.
I mean, really, the Lego games are a great place for Sarah and I to get.
There you go.
Hooked.
Yeah.
Nice. There you go.
That makes a lot of sense, Chris.
I honestly am the same with you, Gabe. I feel like Nintendo's always a great gateway, especially for kids.
Well, and you'd barely have to worry about anything. Like nothing's gonna be risque. Like if you stick with just like stick with what you know, like Donkey Kong and Mario. Like they're gonna be great games with no cursing and there's not gonna be anything scandalous about it. There's not gonna be any online stuff either. They've really protected kids from any online bullying. You can't even talk on there.
Yeah.
Everything's, preset and it's all encouraging, even when you're trying to talk trash. It's like, oh, I'll get you next time. You're like, oh, okay, well.
Darn it.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you. With Piper, we play Mario Kart all the time. That's all she wants to play. So way to go, Nintendo. I mean, you've pretty much got it cornered. But I do like what you said, Gabe, on the iPad. There are some good fun learning games. There's some, especially, as they're getting into schooling and that kind of stuff, there's been some great stuff. And there's been a couple apps that have really helped Piper a lot with reading and math.
Yep.
And so it's not, I mean, hey, any time that they can learn while still playing a game is good for me.
Yeah. And we've seen that, right? I mean, as this, different schools, they gamify things, and there's a reason they do that is because it makes it a lot more fun. And I would say too, Kirby games, my kids love freaking Kirby.
Oh yeah.
And so if you want something that's not Mario, that feels a little different, I would go Kirby. You could go, if they can read, maybe go the Pokemon games, the early ones.
Yeah.
But get them a 2DS. Maybe don't jump to the Switch just yet, especially if you don't know that they're going to take to it.
That's a good point.
There's a whole library of games waiting for you.
That's awesome. Joseph Grimm, today is my birthday.
Hey,
can I please have a birthday shout out?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. What is one of your craziest birthday memories?
Yeeks. I'm not a very exciting guy when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I remember when I was really young, I got super sick on my birthday, like throwing up and everything, and so I didn't have a party or everything. So it's not the greatest birthday, but I was like, what was I going to do? So.
My mom is great at throwing parties, and so she threw me for my 16 and 18. Both those were pretty great. My 16 was held in a huge studio. She invited all my friends, like a music studio. So that was really cool. The only embarrassing part of it was like I had written a song, at that age, and she had said to me one time, like, you need to like just put this down on tape so that you know how it goes if you want to revisit it, kind of thing. And then so I do that because I think she's leading me in the right way. And she takes that tape to a producer. He produces a track. Then at my 16th birthday, in front of all my friends. No, they don't play it. We're in a studio. And so she's like, hey, what we're going to do is all your friends here are going to be the background vocals. You're going to be the lead. And we're going to record this song. And so like I had to stand there and sing the verses. And then all my friends were the background vocals on the chorus. And so like,
that's cool,
it is cool. But like you're 16 and that's just a weird age. You don't really know who you are yet. Exactly.
Do you still have a copy of that?
Yeah.
Man, she does. I'd really have to dig to find it.
Yeah, man.
Better say yes.
But yeah, she's probably got it someplace. And then at my 18th birthday, there was a club called The Church because it was held in a old church. And it was just like a huge party. My older brothers from California came in. My birthday's in December, and so it was snowing. One of my brothers, it was first time ever seeing snow. He was, at the time he was like a 27-year-old man. Had never seen snow before. And they DJ'd my party, my 18th birthday party. And so for me, I've always said I was from California, right? But I moved to Nashville when I was so young that people that hate on me saying that are like, man, you've been here since you were 9 or 10. You can't say you're from California. I'm like, that thing says it was made in China. Like, I'm from California. Right. And so what was fun about it was here I am turning 18. My brother Noel is DJing the party and he stops the music. He's like, Gabe, I know you got all your people here, man, and that's cool. You got your Nashville family, but we about to show them where you really from. And then they played California Love with, Tupac and all that. Of course
they did.
And I was like, this is amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so
that's awesome.
It was just a weird
that is awesome
mashup of my family from the West Coast and my friends from the South. And, there's no reason for them to ever meet. But my mom brought them all together.
That's
man.
bringing it together, though, man.
My mom, man. Now she throws the Dove Awards every year. So she continues to throw parties.
Right?
That's awesome.
Edward, you got something? I know I just talked for 85 minutes.
I mean, I'm kind of like you. I never really had the only one that really, I think I was turning 12, and I remember we went out to Chi-Chi's with my friends, and then we came home, and Mom had an E.T. cake for me, and I was super happy.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, buddy.
She's like, speaking of, you should phone home more often. Seriously.
I know you're 12 and all, but you need to call your mother.
She's next door.
Yeah. At least it was an E.T. cake and not E.T. meatloaf, right?
No, that's true.
Hey.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There you go.
Chris,
what do you got?
Have any big parties when you were a kid?
The only one, I mean, when I was little, I'm sure I did. I don't really remember, but the only one that stands out is when I turned 18, my parents threw me a surprise party and invited all my friends from high school, and I did not see it coming at all.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah, not even a clue.
Where was the party? At your house?
It was just at their house. Yeah. I had gone out on a date with this girl.
All right now.
And then we came back to the house.
Hoping it was empty, am I right?
And I went in there, it's like, I don't know where anybody is. They're all supposed to be here. And I'm walking through the house, and then I go to the back room, which I guess we call it the den or the second living room. It used to be a garage. It was turned into a den. And I opened up that door because I couldn't find anybody, and everybody was in there, and they all yelled surprise.
Did the girl that you were on a date with know?
Yeah, it was her. That's funny. She was the one that like, okay, we need you to take him he go do something. That way he won't be here, and then just make up a reason you need to come back to our house.
What if she didn't even like?
They had met before, but it wasn't like they had spent a lot of time together.
Yeah, that's right.
See Chris like, oh yeah, and we have the house to our. What are you doing here?
No, it literally like my head was so not because there was no reason for them to not be empty. There. I was like, I don't understand. Where the heck are they?
Yeah.
And I'm like going through every room, and then they're in the last room with everybody else.
That's amazing. Good for them.
Yeah.
What about you, Tim? When Eve was made.
When I wasn't puking, several times I've actually been sick on my birthday. I would think my wife threw a pretty amazing 30th birthday, and Gabe, I believe you were there. We made a little mixtape of everything.
Yes.
And everybody got CDs on the way out, and it was just having people together and just having a good time, and I just loved it. It was great. It was so much fun.
She's another one. She could throw a doggone party. You hear me?
She can throw down.
Shoot, she's good at that.
I love it.
I mean, I think almost everything Jenny's learned of throwing parties or hosting has been a lot from Lauren.
Oh,
nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's you know what it is, and she tells me this all the time.
Jersey?
It's in the details.
Yeah.
It's just in the small little things that make you go, that ties in with this. That ties in with this. That's brilliant. She's really good at that. So God bless her. That was awesome.
Nice.
All right, here we go. Brian Nebel. Growing up, I've said a few words differently or wrong according to some people's standards. With this thought in mind, I'm going to ask you, how do you say it? All right, now he listed a ton of words. Okay. I've picked 5. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to describe it, and then you tell me how you say it.
Okay.
All right?
We'll try this.
So, this covers your house, and it has shingles. How do you pronounce it?
Roof.
Yep.
I used to say roof, but now I say roof because people pointed it out.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Right.
You did say roof?
I've got a
roof.
My friend Pauline says roof because Midwest usually, and especially up north, they say roof too. I say roof.
Yep, roof.
Okay. City in Louisiana.
New Orleans.
Nolans.
No, you don't, Ed.
Nolans.
I say New Orleans.
Nolans.
Nolans.
Isn't that the true way to say it, though?
Think so.
That's the right way to say it.
No, it's not.
I agree.
Yes, it is.
Nolans?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Nolans.
No.
That's not how it's spelled.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a space in there.
All right.
That's like
opposite.
Louisville.
Like Louisville. Louisville's
Yeah, it's supposed to say like there's a chicken bone in your throat.
Not your uncle, but your
aunt. See, here's a problem.
Yeah, here we go.
I've got an Aunt Barbara and an Auntie Jean, and so I actually say both.
Really?
Aunt Barbara, Aunt Jean. Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm Aunt.
I'm both. I don't know what to tell you.
That's interesting. Yeah. Chris, what do you got?
Aunt.
And Ed, you've got aunt or aunt?
Aunt.
All right, so this is it's a nut, and it's also, you can make it into a pie.
Pecan.
Oh,
it depends.
Ooh.
But it's mainly because I'm being silly. I think it sounds funnier, so I like saying it that way.
Pecan.
It's weird because I want to say pecan pie.
Yeah.
And then I say I'm not too fond of pecans.
Exactly the same for me. Yep.
Yeah. I say like butter pecan or pecan pie.
I think I might say pecan pie. That's the problem.
I say pecan pie too. Yep.
But
I eat
only when it comes
It's fun
to
to say it that way.
Only when it comes to the pies.
Right.
Yeah. I say pecan. Ugh. Sorry, I can't. It don't even sound like a word to me anymore.
That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. All right, last one. When you were in kindergarten, you colored with these.
Crayon. It is a crayon. It's not a crown. It's not a crayon. It is a crayon. You say it wrong. I'm sorry.
Chris, all fired up,
Oh my
man.
gosh, I've gotten in so many back and forths with people on this one.
Yeah, because people say crowns, right?
Crayon.
Crayon. It's like
Jenny says it. Jenny says it a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all just squishy words of saying crayon.
It's
if you
crayon.
Just enunciate.
We
crayon.
talked about it the other day because I was like, it's crayon. You know that, right? Like, I just don't want you going out in public saying crown.
It's crayon.
No, it's not.
What is it really, Ed? What do you say for real?
I say crayon.
Mm-hmm. Crayon.
Crayon?
Yeah.
Crayon.
What do you mean crayon?
That's just
cranberry?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, you don't,
just
Ed.
A fast, squished version of saying crayon, not enunciating.
No, it's not.
Crayon.
A fast way of saying it is crayon.
That's how people who say it that way, they'll get to it, though. The same thing with crown.
Crayon. Mm-hmm.
It's just a drawl version of crayon, and it merges down to crown.
Or you could just pronounce it correctly and just say crayon.
Crayon.
I do by saying crayon.
Crayon.
Wait,
this is
one more time, Ed.
Not everything is pronounced how it's spelled.
That's true.
That is true.
That is true.
Is it one syllable or two for you, Ed?
One.
Yeah. For him, it's crayon. For us, it's crayon.
Cran?
Cran. Yeah, like cranberry, like you said.
C-R-A-N. Crayon.
Cran. Mm-hmm. Wow. And so the kids were coloring with crayons.
Yep.
Yep.
I have to work at saying that.
Gosh. I want that box of crayons that has the sharpener in the back.
Yeah, it is.
You mean the one that spelled crayon?
Yeah. It's spelled all weird.
That's why
a box of Crayola crayons?
Yeah.
Crayola crayons.
It's the next Overwatch hero, Crayon.
Crayola crayons.
They should do that. That actually would be a good character name for some game. Any
Yeah.
game, you know? That'd be a good name.
Well, let's not get carried away.
Anyway, he says, hope you guys enjoyed now that your tongues are all done.
Yeah.
But I mean, he listed a ton, some of which I was like, I don't know if that's really an issue, but these were the ones that I knew I'd get you.
From a young age, I do, and I still say it if I'm talking quickly, I do still say pamphlet.
That's amazing.
Pamphlet.
Yeah.
Portland pamphlet.
The Portland pamphlets. Yeah, that's right.
They are struggling this year.
Yeah, they
They are on the struggle bus.
Chris,
not
do
making the playoffs.
you say anything that people correct you on, though? Or do you try to...
I call the soup ramen.
So does Sarah.
Do you really?
Raymond?
Yeah, I say
Raymond?
ramen.
Like everybody loves Raymond?
Yeah, that's how I say
Sarah
it.
says.
To be
Everybody
silly?
loves Raymond. How dare you?
I think it sounds funnier, but but I literally, every time I do it, I say ramen. I don't say ramen.
Ramen.
It's ramen.
Even though I know that's correct.
But you also say Hanzo.
That's true. I do say Hanzo.
Oh, nice.
And Sambra. I say a lot of things.
Sambra.
Ed, do you?
That's awesome.
Besides crayon, what else do you say
I'm trying to think.
that people might correct you on?
I thought I had one and then one left. I mean, I take a Caribbean cruise to the Caribbean. I do that both ways.
Oh, me too.
I do that way.
For
I do
sure.
that same.
I've done both
and it's only
ways,
because of the
too,
movies. It's the
actually.
movie's fault, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before that, the ride.
Yeah.
Well, I would think I would have called it the Caribbean, but it's the Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's true.
Yes.
Unless you're Billy Ocean and it's Caribou.
Who? Who pronounced it?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Caribou Queen.
Oh, yeah. I don't know anything of what you're talking about.
You don't know that song?
That's amazing.
No.
You don't know Billy Ocean's
recreated
song?
it perfectly.
I don't even know who Billy Ocean is.
What? You know who Billy Ocean is?
Billy Ocean.
Is that the same thing as
Caribou.
Billy
It's
Ocean?
not Billy Idol.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of.
No.
Billy Idol from.
That's
No.
White
Wedding
Wedding.
Singer.
You
No,
know
no.
Billy Ocean.
Okay, what's
you would
another
know
song?
Billy Ocean.
Man, this podcast off the rails tonight, boy. Really.
All good, man. Wouldn't be a night show
Yeah,
without
that's true.
When the
Who's
going
Billy
gets-
Ocean now?
When the going gets tough, the tough gets going.
That's him.
it. Didn't Billy Ocean?
He made that up?
Wait, did
No.
Billy Ocean and Paul McCartney get together, or was that somebody
That's Michael
else?
Jackson.
No. There was another one. Not Paul. No, who am I thinking of?
You definitely
Billy Ocean.
know this Caribou.
Doesn't even sound real to me.
Yeah. Caribbean Queen. No, no, sun,
All right.
no sand, and our hearts they beat as one.
Oh, I know that song. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Billy Ocean.
All right. Anyway.
All right.
I was just posting the same thing,
Glad-
doggone it.
Glad we got
to
all
it.
that put together.
Oh, he's a black guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I don't. But how was I supposed to know all that from just the song? It's not like he was
actually
like,
wouldn't
drop it to the
because-
flow, drop it to the flow. Then I'd be like, oh, it's a black guy.
Because he sounds a little bit more like Michael McDonald
That's
than
true.
he does anything else. It's like, whoa.
And it was you singing it.
want magic. Yeah, it's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Anyway, all right, let's move on. Twitter at
Oh, we're not
Dokalicious.
done?
Anyone else dance
We're
along?
in trouble.
Anyone else dance along with the show? I catch myself popping lock into the bass drop intro and Millie rocking along with "Oh yes, y'all." Also, I think I can dance much better than I actually can. #dad moves.
Yeah.
Yes, I do it all the time. I do it while we're recording. I do it if I listen to it. Absolutely.
The music is for dancing.
That's true.
Exactly.
It is indeed.
So we wouldn't have it if we didn't want you to move just a little bit at least. We would have just chose just any song.
That's
You
right.
got to remember when me, Tim, and Tim started this thing, would I give you guys a option of like 3 different songs?
Yes, sir.
And we were like, it's this one. I was like, word them up.
This one.
Nice.
We got you.
Yep.
Yeah, baby.
And I don't think we're ever going to change it, are we?
I don't think there's a reason to change it.
I agree.
Like if you were watching Family Matters and all of a sudden it was like, hey, this is Family Matters. You'd be like, what in the freak?
Get
Get
this
that
off
out of
my
here.
TV.
You don't have to be like,
right.
I mean, that's what you have to have that.
Yeah,
But if we wanted
I
to drop
agree.
like a remix album with a bunch of like techno beats and all this different,
Then we'll do
I
it.
wouldn't mind that, just as a variance.
Yeah, we could do that.
then we'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm editing this week. It's opening with Caribbean Queen.
Yes, it better. It absolutely better.
And then we get sued and then the podcast has to be over.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
At
fine.
least we went out in a blaze of glory.
He'll actually have to sing it. That way we avoid copyright
Yeah, that's
issues.
right. Yeah, learn from Taylor Swift.
All
Just
right.
redo it.
That's right. All right, final question. The Reformed Gamers at TRG Podcast. What up, fellas? What are your hot take predictions for Star Wars Episode 9?
I have no
none.
idea.
I haven't seen a thing about it.
I don't either, and it's kind of like it's freaking me out.
I'm pretty close to 0 frames on the Star Wars stuff. And so I've obviously seen the Swiss Army blade lightsaber because it was everywhere. But like
that's
that's
hilarious.
it. That's literally the only thing I've seen. That and the poster. So
Oh no, don't get me wrong. Like I will see as much as I can.
no, I
when
know you
can.
will.
Yeah,
I was just
yeah,
saying for me and my household, we'll serve the Lord. So
Exactly.
we so I like going in almost as blind as possible. Of course I'll see some stuff. My hot takes are that Ray's in it.
Yep. Good.
There you go.
Good
Yep.
one.
Ray,
Good
what?
one.
She's in it.
Ray is in it.
Oh, she's in it.
Yep.
Okay.
So they released the second trailer. There's Darth Vader's breath, and you hear the Emperor.
You hear
So
him laugh again?
Yeah, I don't know what to think anymore. I have no
He
idea.
laughed in one of the earlier
Flashback.
ones as well.
Yeah.
He laughed in the first one. I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's more of him talking. You hear him talking in the second one.
there you go.
And I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I just want it better than The Last Jedi because that was not my favorite.
It's
I
probably
must
just
say.
a voicemail.
Oh, that'd be nice. I'll take that.
Oh my gosh.
A Star Wars voicemail.
Ray finds somebody's phone.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, who's been texting back and forth with? Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, this is right before Darth Vader threw him in that pit.
Yeah, he's like, oh, leave a message. Yeah.
He's like, cancel my subscriptions.
We'll find a great many things.
That's funny. Ed, you got any hot takes besides it's a voicemail?
No, I don't know a thing about it.
Besides,
I'm going with it's a voicemail.
Star Wars Episode 9, the voicemail.
And that's what's funny is that it's like it's you never know if it's in the future or in the past or just far away. It's a long time ago. It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
In a galaxy far away.
In a galaxy far away. Exactly.
But I don't know if it's still a long time ago or if it's just now a long time ago.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's gonna die in this one?
Probably Billy D.
Everybody.
Billy D.
I don't know.
Billy D gonna die. Call him that one.
Oh man.
Yeah, he got to go. It's time.
You better go down with a Colt 45 with him. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man, yeah. Sorry for the hot take. I'm staying. Yeah. I'm staying 2 or 3 frames. I'm not 0 framing.
Not take, more like not take.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what's up.
That's
I don't know. I'm curious. You know what's weird? I'm more excited about the Mandalorian series than I actually am about this episode 9. Right.
Oh
now.
yeah.
But we'll
I don't know, man. JJ's back.
Yeah, that's true.
And I love me some JJ Abrams. He has done almost no wrong in my book. Almost.
Yeah. Agreed.
I
agree.
I saw there was this it was like a story, like a headline on a different website. It said, Star Wars finale will answer all of your questions, says the guy who created Lost. I was like, yeah, that's pretty good.
Nice.
That's funny. That's funny.
That's awesome and probably spot on.
Yeah, that's really funny, though.
That's it. Well, that's it for all the questions, guys. Thank you so much. Good ones this week. We appreciate it.
Yeah, that was fun. The question of the week for you guys is, and I'm not going to give too many, I'm not going to characterize it too much. I'm just going to say this. Is there a game that you miss? A game that you miss. I'm not going to say like, because you did this or because it was this time of your life. But like, just when I say that question, is there a game that pops in your head? Is there a game you miss? Ed, is there a game you miss?
A game you miss? I miss...
It's a weirdish question, but...
Even after this last iteration, I miss Hitman.
Ooh.
Nice.
Go ahead, Edward. Yeah.
That's right.
That makes sense.
R.I.P.
Chris, is there a game?
Gabe's,
yeah, R.I.P.
Hits Gabe right in the feels.
Yeah, please don't do any more movies.
That's right.
Chris, is there a game you miss?
No, I don't really know. The thing that came to mind immediately, and I don't know if it quite qualifies because technically the game's still around, but I miss the era of between Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. So Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, that little era. That was the era of Call of Duty where I feel like I enjoyed it the most.
Ooh.
Even though I don't think those were the best iterations of the multiplayer, that's the time I have the fondest.
But it was getting good. The fact that they went from Modern Warfare to Black Ops was so good, and then back to Modern Warfare, right? And so, for me, and it's probably what you're kind of alluding to, is like once they did like Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare and World War II, and then whatever was after that, you were like, this feels a little cut and paste. Yeah. And like just messy.
I mean, I enjoyed World War II. And
me too.
I'm hoping to give the new Modern Warfare a shot and everything, but just something about that era, that stint. And a lot of people didn't really like the multiplayer in Modern Warfare 3. I think it might be my favorite of all of them.
World War II was probably one of my favorites. I loved World War II.
Yeah, that's good.
Tim, is there a game you miss?
Man, yeah. L.A. Noire came into my head.
Really?
That game, I loved the exploratory. If you think about it, it's a little kind of pre-Telltale because there was a lot of exploratory that you can do as well as some action and shooting. But I loved the story. I love that time period. I played the mess out of that game. I really loved that game.
That's awesome. For me, my feelings start getting jumbled because half of me is like, okay, what game do I miss? And what games am I really saying I want to relive for the first time? You know what I'm saying? Because it's two different questions. But I think the game I miss, when I really think about it, and I love that, Chris, you used kind of a time frame. I miss those early days of when I played first-person shooters on the computer.
Oh, wow.
When I first had gotten into Counter-Strike and Team Fortress, those years, oh my gosh. Number one, I had no responsibilities, but like also I got really good at mouse and keyboard because that's all I played. I was in a clan and all that. And I actually talked to one of the guys just the other day. We were texting back and forth on Facebook that I was in a clan with in Counter-Strike. And I'm talking about high school years, y'all. And so me and him, his name's Mike. He went by Flint Cider at the time, but we used to game together in this clan called the Venebula Knights or whatever it was called. It was the VK clan. And we had the #1 Diablo player in the world that was on our team. His name was Candy Man or something like that. He ended up dying of a drug overdose. But oh, wow. So we did that in high school when I lived with my mom still. And then like 15 years later or 12 years later, we meet in Jersey and he comes to a Toby Mac show. And it was the first time we ever met face to face. And it was this really weird thing because we're calling each other by our screen names because that's the only way we know each other. And
Sabbath Gray, is that you?
Yeah, and so he knew me as Sabbath Gray. I knew him as Flint Cider. We didn't know each other as Gabe and Mike. And so so he was like, Sabbath, and I was like, Flint. And so and that's, how and so he just messaged me the other day. And so, yeah, I missed those days, the early days of kind of like online with everybody and mouse and keyboard, man. It's the master race. It's the only way to play FPS, the best way to play FPS. For sure.
I hate that phrase.
I know.
And I'm German.
You couldn't come up with another phrase. Come on.
No, it's the only time we get to say it.
Hey, there you go. We'll give it to you.
Yeah, thank you. So let us know what comes to mind when I ask you, is there a game you miss? And we will talk about it next week. I'm excited to hear everybody's answers. That's it. Was it 363 in the books? My goodness. I am Gabe Patillo. That is Tim Router. That is Ed Placencia. That is Chris McCracken. And we are married to the games, and we are up out this thing.